Imagine being trapped in a maze of contradicting information, unsure of which path to take.
You might get something like this.
The thing I always tell my students is YouTube can change your life, but you have to put out a video every single week for the next 2 years. If you do, then I guarantee it'll change your life as a result of posting consistently on YouTube. Everyone hears that advice and so few people actually follow that.
There is a whole movement these days that says it's all about consistency. It's not about putting in loads of effort. Right now, it's about putting in small amounts of effort over a very long period of time. And yes, consistency is obviously super important for most things in life, but I think it's worth remembering that actually small periods of intensity punctuated by long periods of rest is also a very reasonable way to go about things.
Or maybe even this.
5 unique exercises that if you focus on these 5, you get the maximum overall benefit.
Stop! Do not exercise. Please don't. I really want you to hear me about this. The vast majority of the people that are out there exercising are doing more damage to their bodies than health. I want you to hear me.
So which one do you choose?
When you search for things online, on YouTube, on blogs, any kind of media, we all want to find the most high quality information and the most resonating for a better life ahead. But finding this information can be a very big hassle, and especially in this age of information overload, where our information is highly accessible at the speed of light. It's a blessing to have access to the world's knowledge and wisdom at our fingertips. But what makes the journey even more challenging is that there are information sources that say one thing and some information sources that say another thing, and you're not sure of which one to follow, which one fits you more, and which one actually is more correct. I want to share with you how you can navigate through this very frustrating path of conflicting information, and I hope this video will give you some value and assistance on how you navigate throughout your search for your wealth of knowledge. Part 1 is what I call the expert debate. If we take a step back, let's explore what information is. The key for information, it fights for our attention. It fights for our senses to be grabbed onto so that we can interpret it and obtain value. People online are fighting for attention. They're fighting for their ideas, their concepts, and their wisdom to be sought after by people within their niche and even outside. And it's most likely that the people that put out this information had a good amount of experience into this area they put themselves in. And they all put it into one source, a blog post or YouTube video, or even as tough as books. I mean, writing a book is one of the most challenging, but probably the most rewarding things you can ever do. I hope one day in the future I can write a book. But it's not just the information that's grabbing our attention, but the person behind it. They want this person who's writing this information to be understood. Like right now with this video, as I give out my content, I personally wish to be understood. Everyone here wishes to be understood on how much information we give out online. But when it comes to this investment of the time and the effort, there comes a point on whether we should be labeling us as experts. We mostly associate experts with those that have actually the qualifications and the credentials of actually giving this information and validating it. If they have some kind of credentials in their name, say for instance, John Smith, PhD in economics, the PhD part is probably the most eye-catching to find a reliable source of information. We expect this person to have done the research, to have done the many years of work and all sharing it online for us to gain an understanding of it. But now when it comes to the rise of the creator economy, in particular with the blog posts, with the YouTube videos, most of the people that are giving this information don't really have some kind of credentials like a PhD. We're seeing people who are mostly interested. They're mostly curious about what they portray online. I mean, take what I do for instance. In my day job, I'm actually a pharmacist. I have an actual master's degree in pharmacy. I could have made this video into everything about pharmacy and what I do for my work, but I actually chose this video to be about pattern recognition, about neuroscience, about cognition, something that is completely outside of what I'm actually trained for So it is very, very, very unlikely that I'm considered an expert on this. But the reason that I'm mainly doing this is because I'm very interested in it. I'm very curious about this topic. I'm seeing a lot of problems around that have led me to take action and start this YouTube channel. So when it comes to the expert debate, there is this battle between having the expertise and having the curiosity. So what I've just shown you there in the beginning were a few clips from a personal development platform called Mindvalley. We're not sponsoring this video, but Mindvalley offers like a huge range of online courses and community content helping you to become the best version of yourself, and they encompass a huge range of areas like your health and fitness, your intellectual life, your vision for the future, your love life, and any other life area. Each opposing video showed a bit of a conflict between each other, and it sounds kind of ironic because if you're a member of a platform like Mindvalley, you expect the teachers on there to actually work together and actually give the one lesson everyone should be taking in and stick with it. And from my experience, when I've been looking around the courses and everything, and they've got some amazing courses, and I highly recommend you check them out. I'll include a link in the description below. When they say having the best teachers in their fields and helping you to grow more, and with the aim of helping you to become a better person, and they're all centralized in this one platform, you're sort of expecting the ideas to be like the gospel truth. It becomes the ultimate reliable source for your personal development because that's what its mission is. But it kind of sounds very ironic that we have these teachers that actually explain their ideas that are conflicting with another teacher you may have seen on that platform. See, with Vishen Lakiani, who's advocating about exercise, and then we have another person saying,
Stop! Do not exercise.
I have to admit, from these videos, there are only little snippets of it. So you could probably guess that these little snippets have only just been added for dramatization. But what I would say is, don't take these snippets face value. I'll say, watch these clips, have a look into it, and see what you think of them. But overall, whenever I'm coming across the irony of this conflicting information from these teachers, I'm just not sure of which one should I listen to. And I even almost imagine myself that if I don't follow this idea, I'm thinking consequences are gonna come. For instance, if I was on a keto-based diet and then for some reason I ate chocolate, I'm sort of imagining that person what did you just do there? You just kicked yourself out of ketosis, and now you'll be kicked out for a week. I'm just thinking that these people are not just experts, but they're gurus who have to be listened to, otherwise consequences are going to happen if you do otherwise. Yeah. So there was this little sense of fear that I had going on. But what I've learned from Vishen himself is that if you have a different idea, it is actually okay not to agree with everyone.
First thing is, I never sought to be a guru. Yes, I teach on Mindvalley, but as of today, there are 65 other teachers on Mindvalley. You don't have to like my teachings. There are teachers on fitness, teachers on leadership, teachers on happiness, teachers on entrepreneurship. It's a very diverse platform. So we are extremely against guruship. I firmly believe you should never have one guru. You need to be in the center, and you need to look at all of the other teachers, and then you validate them. And you should be free to jump from one to one. So I'm not even the only meditation teacher on Mindvalley. Sadhguru is on Mindvalley. Maybe you like his techniques more. Emily Fletcher, who teaches at Harvard and at Google, is on Mindvalley. Maybe you like her techniques more, and that's okay.
And I think this is a very humble opinion from someone who actually founded Mindvalley. It just shows that there is a little bit more to taking in the knowledge, and even though it sounds very truthful, important, and something that we have to at least consider. We have to consider how it fits into our lives, and I will talk about that in part 2. But it just shows that even though you consider yourself an expert, there's gonna be only some people that are gonna agree with you, and the rest will not. And that is completely fine. Like, some people may agree with me and keep watching my content, and some people may not. And I'm totally fine with that. I don't consider myself an expert. I'm just mainly a curious person. And with this battle of expertise and curiosity, I would say the one that wins out of the two, I would probably say curiosity. Part 2 is quite an interesting one. And this is all about rules versus values. A rule is something that is sort of based around research and positive impact on people in a more systematic way, and it's the basis around our systems, and if we follow these rules step by step, they will keep it flowing, and if we sort of improve it over time, then the outcomes will continue to be consistently good, if not better. So if I take in one of the teachers from Mindvalley and follow their step, I know it's probably going to be foolproof because of the fact that the testimonials have been so high and everyone benefited from this. I know it will probably benefit me. So it is worth following these set of rules to help me get there. Now, the problem with following rules is that they tend to sort of manipulate you. Most of us don't really like following rules. There are certain situations where it have to be followed, like in school, maybe when you parent your children, or in any other formal situation you're in. But most of us really don't like them. And particularly when it comes to like following information and being the best of yourself, it can get a little bit manipulative. That's pretty much the last thing we want. But there is an alternative way to following which information is best for you, and it is based on your values. Your values are what give you meaning, what you mean to be. They are your set of rules, but they're not as rigid as rules. They're very flexible. They're very adaptive to changing environments. They adapt to like situations where something drastic has happened, like you've graduated from university, or you got a new job, or you've read an inspiring story. These are all some factors that can determine your value. I've actually started writing on Twitter, and I came across this copywriter by the name of Kieran Drew, and I'll leave his Twitter handle in the description. And when I was getting lost in this whole creative thing and finding what information to trust, he actually sent me one of his email issues. Yeah, and he gives such amazing advice on this, and I'll read this out to you. He said this: "Success isn't about saying yes. It's about saying no to almost everything to excel at one thing." And then from this newsletter, he sort of talks about two different paths, but they've all led to this one goal of success. And it is all based on your core values. And if you look through the information online and you're stuck finding out which one to follow, I would say always refer back to your values. Do these teachers align with your values? Do they share at least some part in what you want to share? What virtues are they going after? Always be open to these sorts of things and see how their perspective overlaps with yours. Let your values be the determining factor behind your information diet. There is this phrase, you are what you eat. If you eat the right foods, your mental health and performance will be greatly affected by this in a positive way. If you eat the wrong type of foods, then expect negative things to happen. The same thing goes with your information diet. If you're getting sources that speak in an unhealthy way and do not correlate with your values, then this is where you're going to be leading yourself into trouble. And finally, part 3 is that the key here is to update your knowledge. If you have two different information, even if they are polarizing of each other, and they've been communicated in a very persuasive tone, and they do align with your values, both of them, but you're not sure which one you want to go for and you want to avoid being a servant of two masters, the best thing to do is to let it update your knowledge. Find some connection between the two. There we go. Find the patterns that come from this and let this connect back to your prior knowledge and update it. But don't let it overwhelm it so that you don't have to follow it like a rule book and be manipulated by it. This is a very beneficial model known as Bayesian thinking. And going back to our friend Vishen, your beliefs are your hardware. The information that you take in is your software. And it's always best that you update this software with new systems, with new ideas, and how they connect back to your prior knowledge. And Vishen is a big fan of pattern recognition, and I highly recommend that you check out that episode from the Human Upgrade podcast with Dave Asprey. He also has got an amazing book called The Code of the Extraordinary Mind, which sort of is a guide to how you can construct your life like based on your own terms and not what society tells you to, or in this case being manipulated by the information sources that are eager to grab your attention. And this is what society does. Like every advert that you see out there or concept is being shoved at you, but instead of just discarding this, you're letting it update your knowledge and finding the patterns of it. And I would say it's a more humble approach. You just get to appreciate the information from others and be open to new perspectives, and you sort of create a new perspective of your own. And I really hope this video serves as a guide for you. And if you don't agree with it, that's completely fine. I'm still learning from all this. I'm still enjoying this, and I will try to continue to enjoy this. Thank you so much for watching. Do have a look at the links down below, and you might want to check out this video right here, where I actually talk about pattern recognition itself. It will really change the course of how you think. Alright, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.